Hey, good afternoon. Courtney Scott here with KnowledgeWell Media. It is November the 2nd. It's actually my daughter's birthday. November the 2nd, 2016. Hey, Olivia, Daddy loves you. And no shortage, as usual, of news in the world. Oh, I hope you're following everything because there's exciting times. I know some things may be a little scary, but you know what? We were warned of these things. If you're a Bible believing Christian, this should be no surprise, all the prophetic things that are coming into view. And just make sure you're prayed up. That's all you have to worry about, or not worry about. Just stay prayed up, and your God, your Father, will let you know exactly what's going on and what to do, as Noah and so many other great Bible people of the past learned. All right, so I told you I would be actually quoting or reading from an article by the Dollar Vigilante. However, I decided to go with this article instead from Dave Hodges, The Common Sense Show. I'm so excited about this article here because of the warning that it can give people that we should be getting prepared for. It says the White House is preparing for a Chinese EMP attack, electromagnetic pulse. So I'll say it that one time so I don't have to keep saying it throughout the article. This is from Dave Hodges, The Common Sense Show. And I felt like it was important to reach back into the archives to get this one because, here, I'll let you make the judgment for yourself. It is counterintuitive to believe that the Chinese would ever launch an EMP attack upon Taiwan or the United States for that matter. My closest colleagues believe that the Chinese would not destroy the power grid of a country that they own the country's debt. My colleagues reason that China needs an intact America for which to collect its debt, and therefore no EMP attack is forthcoming. On the surface, I agree with my colleagues' logic, but no matter how many times I dismiss the possibility of the use of EMP weapons by China, I keep finding strong evidence to the contrary. In the last couple of days, Lisa Haven, another one of my favorite podcasts, by the way, Lisa Haven has been writing about how the Obama administration is practicing for a grid-down scenario that involves the White House. This is yet another confirmation of the fact that we are about to be hit by an EMP. Now, Lisa believes that any grid-down scenario will result from natural solar flare forces, and it might. However, the evidence continues to point in the direction of a controlled event resulting in the use of EMP weapons on the United States and possibly Taiwan. The Chinese have their fingerprints all over this scenario, and as will be revealed, a total grid-down scenario need not take place for the Chinese to target specific facilities, pay attention, through their development of localized EMP weapons. Scary stuff. Declassified intelligence reports reveal the Chinese first strike EMP option. Here's a little bit. A declassified intelligence report obtained by the private National Security Archive provides details on China's EMP weapons as well as the plans for their use. The report details how much of China's military is developing EMP weapons that the Chinese plan to use against targeted U.S. aircraft carriers with regard to any future conflict over Taiwan. Parts of the National Ground Intelligence Center study or the lethal effects of electromagnetic pulse and high-powered microwave weapons revealed that the arms are part of what China refers to as assassin's mace. This arsenal of EMP weapons allows a technologically inferior China to defeat the U.S. military forces while leaving much of the surrounding infrastructure, intact. The report further states, for use against Taiwan, China could detonate at a much lower altitude, 30 to 40 kilometers, to confine the EMP effects to Taiwan and its immediate vicinity and minimize damage to electronics on the mainland. The once labeled top secret report revealed that Chinese military writings have emphasized the importance of building low-yield EMP warheads. We need to research into this, people. They're giving us a warning here. The report said that Future Chinese EMP weapons should emphasize developing, quote, any low-yield strategic nuclear warhead or tactical nuclear warheads could be used with similar effects. The DF-21 medium-range ballistic missile was prominently mentioned as a platform for the EMP attack against a country such as Taiwan. Of course, this strategy has definitive applicability in its use against the United States. Reading on, according to the report, the trump card or assassin's mace weapons that are based on new technology has been developed in high secrecy. Trump card would be applicable if the Chinese have developed new low-yield, possibly enhanced EMP weapons, while assassin's mace would apply if only warheads are employed, the report says. The Chinese are producing EMP weapons which target humans. Americans have been told by our corporate-controlled media that EMP weapons will have no impact on human beings. These reports are as bold-faced lies as this same report went on to detail how the Chinese have conducted EMP tests on mice, rats, rabbits, dogs, and monkeys. The results of the mammal-directed EMP test results produced eye, brain, bone marrow, and other significant organ injuries. It stated that it is clear the real purpose of the Chinese medical experiments is to learn the potential human effects of exposure to powerful EMP and high-powered microwave radiation. The report also concluded that these human-based EMP tests may have been conducted to determine safety or shielding standards for military personnel or weapons. Reading on, I'm almost done here, stick with me. My sources tell me that Chinese plans for nuclear EMP strikes against the United States are part of a Chinese military doctrine, and there is also evidence that China has already developed a set of super EMP nuclear weapons that produce powerful EMP fields, but with EMP-related effects that can be contained to specific geographic locations. There is no doubt that the Chinese are perfecting task-specific EMP weapons to a degree that is now known outside of classified circles. Here's the conclusion. The Chinese solar energy zones are no doubt part of the Chinese plans to employ a localized EMP strike against America designed to disable its command and control as well as any local military forces which would resist a joint Chinese-Russian takeover of the United States. Yeah, the missing nukes, as reported by Alex Jones, are the fail-safe component of this plan. I became very suspicious of the Chinese solar energy zones when I discovered that they were adjacent to major military bases. For example, the planned solar energy zone on the Bundy Ranch is located near Nellis Air Force Base. I think that's Nellis. The same is true as these solar energy zones in Arizona, which are located adjacent to Luke Air Force Base flight operations. I believe that there can be no doubt that these Chinese solar energy zones are being strategically placed through the efforts of Senator Harry Reid adjacent to major American defense installations in order to neutralize their military operations when the time is right. The neutralization element will consist of a localized EMP weapon. These suspicions are further enhanced as the Bundys are reporting the presence of Chinese soldiers on their ranch. I'm going to stop right there. I think that's enough. I will leave it up to you to go ahead and dig further into this information. Very sobering information. Now, remember, as of October 1st, we actually surrendered control of the internet over to the UN. That's something that should raise a red flag in your head, because if you remember, what was it, last week, Friday, the whole East Coast was taken out by a hacking incident where I believe the report said that they were able to some hackers were able to tap into multiple Internet of Things, meaning your video cameras. I did a report on that last week, I believe, and able to send that and crash the DEN server. So, and the whole East Coast was taken out just like that. No problem. And so how those, and it also detailed in that report how all of those instruments or Internet of Things that were used were actually made in China. I'll let that sink in for a little bit. Got it? Okay. That's how important this is right now. That's why I went back into the archives to find this article. I don't want to belabor the time any longer. I'm killing my wife already with all the edits and things like that she has to do. And so I'm going to cut this short. But I want to hear your comments, questions, and concerns. Let's get some dialogue going. And I want you to get out there and do some digging yourself and then share some of that below in the comments section. We got to figure this out. We got to be prepared. And I'll detail later in another episode or broadcast some of the ways that I have prepared and some of the things I've heard that can help us out. You already should know food, water is a no-brainer, but like stuff like your vitamins and things like that. But hey, I'm going to end this now because it's getting long. I don't want to keep you any longer, but I want to thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here on this November the 2nd, 2016. Hey, find God in your day and be blessed.